Conscience Guide Team by Sheepdog and Shepherd.
Conscience Guide Team 6.0 Conscience and Infidelity.
Hey Shepherd, does the saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander apply for adultery as well?
The Mistress. A poem written and read by Pennsylvania poet Anna Tate.
The Mistress. I stood by the open door. She looked at me as if to say, "Move over, I'm here to stay." Walking across the floor, I couldn't help but notice her resemblance to me. Was I that pretty at 33? Their eyes met. No need for conversation. You had to be blind not to see the infatuation. My body drained. My heart fell to the floor. I turned and walked through the open door.
In preparation for this episode, I discovered that the word mistress, used in the sense of a woman having an affair with a man, is considered by some as sexist and archaic. I also discovered that some have raised concerns regarding what you call the male counterpart of a mistress. Perhaps the issue might be satisfactorily resolved if you call the male an adulterer and the female an adulteress. The dictionary defines adultery as consensual sexual intercourse between a married person and a person other than the spouse. The saying "sex sells" underscores how the entertainment industry and news media have generated tremendous profit from the glamorization of adultery. Adultery has been viewed by the law in many jurisdictions as an offense injurious to public morals and a mistreatment of the marriage relationship. From a legal perspective, adultery has historically been regarded as a legal wrong, but has not always been regarded as a crime. Enforcement of statutes on adultery has gone the way of the Rafus cucullatus, or dodo bird. That is, while many jurisdictions continue to have laws criminalizing adultery, few, if any, enforce the laws. The three goals advanced to enforce adultery laws have been the prevention of disease in illegitimate children, the preservation of the institution of marriage, and the safeguarding of morality. Strangely enough, the three goals advanced to enforce adultery laws, as well as enforcement aversion, underscore the following. An innate moral code resides within both men and women, and the innate moral code considers adultery a violation. The fact that adulterers and adulteresses operate surreptitiously further attests to the reality of an innate moral code and its view that adultery is innately wrong. Despite attempts on the part of society to normalize adultery, the conscience following its innate moral code will never condone it. A king living 1040 to 970 BC realized the full force of a conscience informed by his innate moral code when he committed adultery with a married woman, resulting in a pregnancy. In order to cover up the adultery and the pregnancy, the king ordered that the woman's husband be killed. Just when he thought he committed adultery and the shedding of blood with impunity, the king's deity informed him through a prophet that the so-called love child of the adulterous affair would die. In his song of repentance, the king articulated the relationship between his conscience and his innate moral code. Of particular note, he articulated how his adultery and shedding of blood not only violated his innate moral code, but also violated the relationship with his deity and mankind. What do you think about adultery? Do you think that adultery is innately wrong, or simply a matter of cultural conditioning? Do you think it is important to protect marriage from adultery? Is marriage merely an institution, or is it something more? If so, what is marriage that it must be protected from adultery?
Special acknowledgement to our references.
Special thanks to Pennsylvania poet Anna Tate, voiceover artists Cynthia and Todd, and content consultant Ed.
Thank you for watching our presentation on matters pertaining to conscience. Please subscribe and offer your comments. Produced by Sheepdog and Shepherd, aka M. Gilbert Steiner, author of Short Man of Nuremberg.